Time now for the Inside Corner. Let's bring in Jon Morosi. And JP, we told about some breaking news moments ago. The Atlanta Braves have reinstated Ronald Acuña Jr. Seemingly ahead of schedule, as his was the target date. Seemingly, I thought, was May 6th, but now he's been reinstated. Is he going to play tonight? Of course, Cubs-Braves, our showcase game here on the network.
Robert, good morning. I believe that we will see Ronald Acuña Jr. in the lineup tonight. Certainly, when you consider where the Braves are, they're 8-11, below 500. They lose last night. And the reality, Robert, is Acuña, playing just up the road in Gwinnett for their AAA affiliate, has been on fire in terms of offense up there at AAA. And I think the Braves look at the way he's playing right now. They've got a good look at how he's doing physically, the quality of the at-bats. They look at what they've got internally right now as they're below 500. They say, listen, he's ready right now. I do believe, Robert, there's a chance we see him as the DH tonight. That's one of the luxuries of the new rules in the National League, that when you have that maybe bit of an uncertainty if he was going to be ready next week or this week, to go ahead, push it a little bit. He's ready. Of course, he had the ACL injury last mid-season. He hasn't played in the major league since July. He's been itching to get back ever since then. And I think the quality of the at-bats, Robert, has really forced the issue here and told the Braves he's ready to go. So the corresponding move today, Alex Dickerson designated for assignment. And Robert, to your point, I don't think the Braves would be activating him this morning unless they had the expectation that he's going to be in the lineup for the series finale against the Cubs in our showcase game tonight, as you mentioned. So certainly the stage is set in so many ways. Yeah,
coverage beginning tonight right here on the network, 7 o'clock Eastern, Cubs and Braves. 10 years ago today, JP, Mike Trout was called up to the majors, and he never left. Looking back on this decade of excellence of Mike Trout, what stands out?
It's extraordinary, Robert. One of the very best players we have seen in the history of Major League Baseball arrived to the major leagues to stay on this date, as you mentioned, 10 years ago. The Angels were in Cleveland. I remember, you see the video there, I was actually covering that series and was there in the clubhouse when Trout walked in. And the reaction from the veteran players in the clubhouse was one of appreciation. Certainly, he was the young guy at the time, just 20 years of age, and they knew the promise that he was bringing. They knew the hype surrounding him, and he has certainly more than delivered on that. Check that out, Robert. 9-time All-Star selection. He has delivered it every single year, a 3-time MVP. We all know he's going to the Hall of Fame. There simply is nothing more that the Angels could have asked Trout to do than precisely what he has done. And as we talked about earlier in the week, and D-Row recalled that, about Harper walking into the clubhouse in Los Angeles with the Washington Nationals. So it's just remarkable when you consider on the same day, 10 years ago, Harper at 19 makes his debut, and Trout, who had a cameo briefly in 2011, comes back to the major leagues to stay. And I remember, I'll make this point quickly, I was reading actually an excerpt from the reports in the Deseret News in Salt Lake City, where Trout was playing in AAA, about how, listen, it's going to be tough. We're losing his bat. What an impact he's making on our AAA club, the Salt Lake Bees. He might not ever come back. Well, he did never come back, guys. He never came back to AAA. And the Salt Lake Bees, they've probably never quite been the same. And Major League Baseball certainly has never been the same since Trout returned to the major leagues to stay 10 years ago on this day.
Seattle Mariners staying in this division. Obviously, they haven't been to the playoffs in decades. Why do you think this is the year that could change?
Robert, I love their foundation of young pitching, and we saw this week Logan Gilbert, one of the very best pitchers in Major League Baseball, to begin this season. The poise that he's bringing, of course, from Cy Young University, Stetson in Florida, the same school that gave us Kluber and DeGrom, now giving us Logan Gilbert. So I think his efficiency, he is now delivering on that promise, 25 years of age. They've also brought up Matt Brash, who's been very good. You see the Mariners, their last 12 games, one of the very best teams in Major League Baseball. And we go back to last season, they almost make the playoffs, Robert, with the negative run differential. The buzzword around the Mariners last year was fun differential, because they were consistently outperforming their negative run differential because their bullpen was very good. They were winning a lot of low-scoring games. But it hasn't been just Gilbert. I think we saw a great breakdown by D-Row this week about Ty France. Mitch Haniger has been out for a while. He is due to come back. Jesse Winker has come in. Eugenio Suarez, looks like the Suarez of old. J.P. Crawford, I think you look at the quality of at-bats from guys like Crawford, who has more walks than strikeouts. Same with Winker. Suarez is very close in terms of balancing those columns out. Guys, the Mariners, long overdue, longest playoff drought in MLB, longest playoff drought currently in major North American pro sports. I believe, my friends, it ends this year.
That's J.P. Morosi with the latest. JP, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
All the best, Robert. Thank you.
You got it.